Hey there viewers, and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at installing a receiver hitch onto an 09 Camry hybrid. Let's take a look. So I bought this from eTrailer, obviously, not a sponsor of the show. The Draw-Tite hitch, there looks like there's two different style, one for the hybrid and one for all the other cars. In the box you get the receiver, you get all the hardware that you need and some instructions. Haven't taken a look at any of that. Looks like you get the bolts and all that stuff too. Sold separately. This was taped to it, so it's pretty mangled, but the kit itself looks intact. Is the wiring harness. So if you're just looking to, put a bike rack or something on your car, you're not going to need the wire harness. So looks super easy to install. It's actually designed specifically for this car. It says that, here's the part number and what it does in the back. So it's powered because the Camry Hybrid has LED taillights, and you can't run traditional bulbs off a circuit like that. So step one, get this out of the way for now. Lift is optional, but probably highly encouraged. I've seen videos of folks on YouTube installing this in their driveway. They just put it on a set of ramps, kind of very similar to what I've done on the drive-on lift. Okay, sweet. Just organize everything up good here. Awesome. All right, so step one, just based on previous reading, is we need to lose this plastic piece. It is unique to the Camry Hybrid, and I'm going to just take it out, trim it later. Just kind of looking at my bumper, I think somebody's backed over a couple of things, but they have these plastic rivets, and you'll need the special little tool. But most of mine look like they're missing. They're pretty standard part. I keep them in stock, just, you know, body shop class. I buy them like 100 pack on Amazon, and you get the idea. So since all my plastic rivets are gone, it looks like we're going to take a 10 millimeter, a 10 millimeter, and a 10 millimeter, and then missing, probably missing, and this whole cover will drop down. Here, there's another fastener hidden up behind there. See what treasures await us underneath this cover. Well, that one's a different size. Let's try a 12. Oh, yeah. Wait for it. A lot of times these retain gallons of dirt waiting to drop into your face. This one's not too bad, just a little bit of stuff on it, so we'll set him aside. All right, here's a view of what you can see after that is removed. Got another one. I'll get you some light. That chills out up above the muffler. You can, I'll move the camera where those holes are. All right, next what we're going to do while we're under the car, we're just going to go ahead. Oh, nice. I was expecting those to be welded on. We're going to drop the exhaust down, and that takes a 14 millimeter. And Toyota conveniently gave us a little bracket that the rubber donger thing's attached to. Oh man, wow, that one's the tight one. So we don't have to fight those. There we go. Okay, everything's loose. That's good. I'm gonna get some spritz. For what it's worth, right, folks? Probably work better with a standard socket, but it's a little better. so that one's a little difficult. Let's see if we can break something here. Much better. Bring this down a bit. Oh, I see. Okay, all right, folks, what you gotta do is you gotta remove that bolt I just dropped on the floor. This stays in. Let's see if it'll go back in. Probably not. Oh. And this other one right here in the front. So there's two bolts here and there. That is the one you want, because that's what's holding the exhaust up. Oh, never mind. I take that back. You gotta take all three out. What was I thinking? This is fun. Power tools. Sweet. Well, now that that's out of the way, probably at this point is when you should read directions. And just take this one out by hand. I believe the third, I don't know if it's the third or not. There's an exhaust hanger right here that's holding everything up. So if we need more room, we got two options. We can take two 10mm bolts loose, which I'm probably gonna do anyway, because it's easy and they don't look angry. And then I can use my jack or some blocks of wood or something like that to support the exhaust, because I'm pretty sure I need enough room up here to be able to get my hands and bolts that are that long, you know, to do that thing that we're doing. These are 12. Yep. Need bigger tools. Easy, fella. Okay. Sweet. So that is completely loose. There's one more hanger on the back of the muffler. So we can actually completely take that guy loose. And then we should, in theory, be able to raise our jack up to support said exhaust. And there we go. Now, I should very easily be able to control the height of the exhaust without bending the pipe, of course. It's not too terribly heavy. It does have a flexi up by the catalytic converter, so I don't think we actually have to play with these angry guys, thankfully. All right, now that we have access underneath the car, I'm gonna clear out the spare tire pan, get everything, all that junk out of there. Not gonna show that. At that point, we'll read the instructions and see what else we need to do before we, hopefully everything just slides right up there all zippy zap like. Next we're gonna do is we're gonna dispose of this bracket. What we're gonna do after that is make sure that our little M10 with the conical toothed washer is actually gonna thread in. And it does. Awesome. Let's do the other one. We'll do the same on the passenger side. It would be a good time to run a tap through it, since the bolts over there don't have anything threaded into them, so they might get a little crusty. So, all right, we're now ready to bring the hitch up to the vehicle, looks like. I did drop the exhaust down about this far. You can basically reach your hand up in there, but it's enough that I can get up in there and manipulate the bolts. All right, and take our 17 mil thread that in like such, at least a couple good turns. All right, I shoved the sanding block up in here and a roll of paper towels to help keep the bumper cover out of the way. I'm not sure if you're supposed to remove that bumper cover or not. I wouldn't think so. I'm gonna just thread that in a little more. All right, now, in theory, we should be able to pivot that up. You will have to take the two plastic tabs, it looks like, out of your bumper and use your head. Sorry if all you can see is my head. Okay, sweet. All right, so we'll put two more in, wherever I put those. I'm gonna go get some anti-sneeze for these other two bolts, pull these existing ones out, just in case you ever want to pull this off or whatever. All right, we got anti-seize on all the fasteners, so we're just gonna go ahead and snug this down. Now we'll do the final fandangle jingle, whatever. Might have this stuff too tight. Just kind of try to get it centered up. It probably already is. Didn't tighten anything tight, so still can make some adjustments. That is probably exactly. I'm just looking where the Toyota logo is. Probably doesn't really adjust a lot. Yeah, she's pretty stout on there on the car, so I think that's just where it is. How it's gonna be. It looks like our next thing to do is we go ahead and drill into the trunk pan, which isn't the world's most strongest metal, but I suppose that just gives her a little bit more structural integrity. Bend these guys back up a little bit. Pull our spacer out. Yeah. Our other spacer. Just, you know, regular something to keep that bumper cover away while you're working. Everything comes back. Bend our tabs back up on the car. That's gonna clip in perfectly. All that other good stuff. Sweet, so everything clears. Bumper cover is in exactly the same place as it was before, so no damage to that. All right, I'm gonna go look up a torque value. I'm gonna torque these guys down to their final spots, and then I'll drill my two holes into the trunk pan. All right, our next step, by the way, you torque those guys down to 42 foot-pounds with a 17 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and install these washers, and make sure your spare tire is out, because we're gonna drill into the trunk pan and you're gonna pop it. I'm just gonna use this step bit, 1/2 inch, and shinner it up. And wrong way, fella. Yay. Peoples. Okay. I'm going to finish that drill from the top. And pilot hole is drilled. Sweet. Okay, so at this point you can see, hopefully, what needs to be done. drill. Oh, that's got a great smell. We're going to cut this tar, this asphalt stuff, out to make room for the washers. Now we know where to cut. Come on. Wow, that's nice. Seems to not be as gooey as I thought it was going to be. And just test fit everything before. Third time's a charm, right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna vacuum this out. I'm gonna hit it with some 3M cavity wax, fluid film, just all that stuff because we drilled through the metal, and get this all ready. Here's what we're gonna use. It's 3M cavity wax 08852. I'm gonna generously apply that. Smells different than I was expecting it to smell. Definitely not as natural smelling as fluid film, but nonetheless OEM approved and all that. We're probably going to have to put a pair of ice grips on that, so I'm going to go ahead and find a set real quick. Don't have to clamp it real tight. I just want it to spin and hit that, the nub. In this case, probably put that on. like so. All right, meanwhile, just had to crawl back up there and pull the bolts and slide these little flat washers back in. That was easy, no big deal. We are gonna put our split washers down here just so that the head profile on the bolt doesn't cut into the spare tire quite as bad. I think these are like 75 foot-pounds. I'll have to look at the instructions, but let's see. 75. Could they maybe be the same size? Nope. About an 18. Nope. About 19. Oh, first try. Oh yeah, that tightened down good. I hear the vice grips up there moving around. But it's doing its job so far. Sorta. Maybe. Nope. Gotta go back up in the car again and fix that one. Alright, the next thing we're gonna do, just for fun, just gonna hit all these fasteners real quick with the spray. These guys are torqued, all is well. I think that's it. We're gonna start putting our exhaust back up and call it good. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, sneak the muffler up and around. Thread him in a little bit. Okay. Two more. Oh, hard to see. I realize that. They're up there, trust me. Next step's going to be our two 12s. I'll hold this guy in. I did put anti-seize on them. got 2 more. Next up, I think I'm going to leave the shield off. Just looking at what I got to cut out of it to make everything fit. Seems like it's going to end up being fairly loose and floppy. So you can always cut it later, but I'm just going to put all the fasteners back in with a little bit of fluid film or a 3M cavity wax in this place so we don't lose any of the fasteners. It's good, good. I'm gonna put this little guy back in. It didn't have one before. When I paint this bumper, it's got a little battle damage on it. We'll get these, you know, broke tabs fixed up good. You know, the hitch isn't doing anything with interfering with their fit. It was broke before I got this car. So anyway, this screw is going to go into the plastic shield. Alright, so when this shield goes up, you can see it's actually going to fasten onto these studs. So nothing bolts there, so we're not missing any fasteners. This guy went into this cover, which I'll just put in the trunk, get back to the customer. I think we're done. And lastly, before we button this thing up, I think what I'm going to do is fold these rags just to kind of pad the spare tire a little bit. I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but that's why I didn't put washers or anything underneath these bolts. Wanted the lowest profile possible. There we go. It should not cut into the tire. And that fits in there good. Doesn't wobble. That's nice. Well, there you got it, folks. That is how you install a Draw-Tite hitch on your '09 Camry Hybrid. Hopefully this video helps you out if you're doing the same thing. If you like what we did here, make sure you subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, and as always, thanks for watching.